It's another week and we're here with the Unhelpful Parenting Podcast.
This week we are laughing through so many stories that got sent in. We've got funny quotes from kids. We've got confessions from parents. We've got funny news stories about parents in the news. We also catch up a little bit on our weeks, some of the things we've had going on. And I've got a random question that we kind of kick it off with a little bit too. Not sure whether it's a mum knowledge gap that I don't know or if it's something everyone should know.
Yeah, that question took a turn.
But it's funny, so jump in and we'll see you in the podcast. It was nice knowing you. I'm going to go die in a hole of embarrassment now.
Wait, why can't we read them all here? You've put in some pretty brutal ones.
Yeah, I censored.
All right, let's get straight into it. Hello.
Welcome. A big welcome to any of our new listeners. We have had stacks and stacks of people find us through last week's viral story.
Sup, Bluey lovers?
If you listened to last week's episode, you would have heard Sam give me crap about how everyone already knew that all these celebs were in Bluey.
I knew about I didn't say everyone, I just said me. I knew about 85% of them.
Sam's been eating some humble pie because...
I didn't know Eva Mendes. I didn't know...
Oh, can you please go back and just listen to last week's episode? You're like, yeah.
Lynn Beachley. Lane Beachley, sorry. Yeah. Oh, speaking of saying names wrong.
I was about to say, apologies.
Lin Manuel.
I can't pronounce names.
I didn't even click, otherwise I would have shut you down right there and then it made you redo it.
So big apologies to Lin Manuel. I now know how to say your name properly, and that was just full flashbacks to being out of school. My first job was as a dental nurse, and I used to have to go read patient names out in the waiting room to call them in. And
oh look,
that was the worst part of that job, and that was in dentistry.
I understand how Lynn feels because my name is Samuel, but I get Samuel.
True, that is true. Maybe that's where it came from. I call you Samuel.
Hate it. And it is a UEL. Like his name is UEL, so it makes sense. But it's Manuel.
And then big apologies to everyone who was miffed that we missed their favourite celebrities. Plus, we had it's all extremes. You never make everyone happy on the internet. But
I knew
so many people were like, they're not even celebrities. And then everyone else was like, how did you miss all these names?
All the Americans. Oh, they must be Australian celebrities. Except that wasn't American, but...
it was Bluey.
But see, I knew, and I didn't even think about, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't in the right headspace last week for this, episode. But I knew, Josh Widdicombe and Rob Beckett, and there's another English dude. Yeah, that dude with the funny hand. Yeah. All the dudes off... The
Last Leg.
The Last Leg.
Yes.
And they're the Butlers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There were lots. And we missed Megan Washington,
Rob Warren,
Ray Warren, Mick Fanning, Miff Warhurst, Sam Simmons. There were lots of people that didn't make the cut, and we're sorry. We were just so fascinated by the ones that did. Anyway, we're not going to babble on that anymore. Go follow us on socials and you'll find it. It'll be one of the first things you probably see. Yay! Yay! On to yays and nays this week. Every week we catch up with a little yay or nay from our life so that we're not just reading all of your stories and making fun of you. You get to make fun of us.
Hang on. For the newbies.
Yeah.
Why is it called a yay and a nay? Because you couldn't think of anything better. And then I stuck with it.
It took us weeks to work out, is this a high or a low or a...
Hey or a ho.
Yeah, Sam wanted to call it that. And I was like, no.
It's let's do a little. So then you said yay and nay. So now there's a horse.
My yay this week.
Carry on.
We got a cleaner.
We did.
I am a working mum and Sam is a working dad, and our house looks like we are working parents usually because it's just a nightmare trying to juggle three kids.
It's a mess.
School schedules, swimming lessons, work, we own a business, a podcast, all of the things. Just the house was coming last and we went and booked cleaners, and that's my yay because I had the best shower ever that night because I didn't realise how much guilt I was carrying every time I get in the shower and look around because something always needed cleaning in the bathroom, and I get in and I'd be like, oh, it's been so long since I cleaned that, or oh, it's been so long since I cleaned that, and I just had the best shower. I got in, the whole house was clean, and I was like, this is guilt-free. And it was amazing. So that's my yay.
Can I tag team in?
Yeah.
My nay
Yeah.
It lasted a whole 10 seconds
Oh my gosh.
by
Yeah.
the time the kids got home.
Sam didn't really get to truly appreciate it because he came home after the kids and he walked in and he was like, didn't the cleaners come today?
Horrendous.
To be fair, it was a mess, but it was a clean mess. Like,
There was crap all over the
oh,
floor.
true. They'd had
within-
afternoon tea.
Yeah. And we have dark carpet, so you can see everything. And
It was still not, the bathrooms
crap.
were nice.
Sure.
All the things that we.
Yes, that's true.
My Nay is our 18-month-old, third child, can't remember,
Almost.
1-year-old. I don't know if it's a normal 1-year-old thing because I don't remember the other two doing it, but he attaches himself to things.
Yes, he does.
And so we have a joke that we call the things, because usually he picks up something at the start of the day and that's it. Like that's his thing for most of the day. Usually it's his breakfast spoon and that's it for the rest of the day. We call it his emotional support spoon. And I've actually had to deliver him to daycare with the spoon in his hand and been like, I'm really sorry, I've tried. And then they've tried to take it out and it's been meltdown. I just let him keep the spoon. It's been fine until yesterday. In the morning, I put him down in the kitchen to make his bottle. I turn around and he's holding the dustpan. And for the rest of the morning, we had the emotional support dustpan.
So you left the dustpan out and he grabbed it.
And of all the things he could attach himself to, and it almost came to the shops with us. We met Sam at the shops. We had to do some shopping. And it almost came, literally, I thought we were free because we'd made it to the shops, done a whole morning at the shops. The first thing he eyed off when we got home and screamed over the fence, like baby gate trying to get, was that dustpan. He was like, and I was just like, you can't sleep. He wanted to take it to nap time. He wanted to take it to bed and chucked a big tantrum because I wouldn't let him take the dustpan to bed. So I don't know if that's a thing, but this phase is getting more and more difficult. Anyway. That's my nay.
He loves it.
That's my for the moment is we have emotional support dustpans apparently. You've given us your nay, what's your yay?
All the kids in one room. We're giving it a shot.
Yeah, baby was feeling left out. I need an office space at home because I've got some early morning meetings coming up. And yeah, it worked. So far, so good. I thought they'd wake each other up and was a bit worried how it'd go, but so
The
far.
baby's the only one that sleeps in the room.
I know.
The other two still end up with us.
But no, I know. I was pleasantly surprised that worked too. Yay for us.
And only takes one parent to put them all to bed instead of two.
So before we get into more of the episode content, I have a question.
Okay.
And I thought I'd ask it here instead of just at home because part of me is sus. I'm like, is this a knowledge gap and just something stupid I should know? Is this a like legit thing? And if it's a thing, then why don't people talk about it?
A knife spelt with a K?
No, Sam's seen my notes. So I just put question knives. So my question is, how do you throw away knives? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a little drawer in our like cutlery thing full of knives that are old and we don't
crap.
use and crap. And I just don't know how to throw them away.
Don't you just put them in the bin?
That's not safe. How would you? Like, I'm not going to.
Have you Googled it?
No, because I feel like this is a thing that.
Let's ask Google Gemini. Hey, Google. How do you dispose of old kitchen knives? Hello?
Disposing of old kitchen knives safely is important to prevent injuries to yourself and waste management workers. Here's a breakdown of the best methods. 1. Safe disposal in general waste. Wrap the blades. The most crucial step is to thoroughly wrap the blades. Use heavy-duty materials like thick cardboard, multiple layers of newspaper, bubble wrap. Secure the wrapping tightly.
That
with
sounds
strong
like
tape.
so much
Pay
effort.
Special attention to the sharp tip, ensuring it's completely covered.
Okay, hang on. I'll just pause her reading it because she's going to read it for a while.
Because that's a lot of effort. And that's all stuff that you
If
recycle.
possible, label the outside of the package with caution sharp blade.
I still feel like that's not helping me because I don't want to wrap them up like a little post-it parcel.
Why not?
Because that feels, I don't know. Anyway, I dispose of it. Also, you Googled that way better than I did. I was like, how do you throw away a knife? And then I was like, that sounds really sus. If the police are big brothering my phone, like.
I just feel
send a
like
car
you're
past to make
overthinking
sure you're
it
alive.
yet again. And you just need to do what it said and throw it
No.
away.
But Yeah, it doesn't feel safe putting it in the rubbish. Anyway, I will work that one out. I just wasn't sure if that was a mum thing that I just didn't know. I thought. But it sounds like you didn't know it either. You didn't know how to throw away knives. So unless we're
I
really
assumed
silly.
you throw it away, but I'm like, yes, you wouldn't just throw it in the bin.
Exactly.
I just found house.com.au, you know, the shop, House.
Yes.
They have a thing
Ah.
on what to do.
Yeah.
Most of them say, unless they're actually physically broken, which a lot of ours are, just get a knife blade sharpener and then make them good as new again.
But like we've gone and bought all new knives. I don't want the old ones anymore, even if they are sharp.
So, how to safely get rid of your underwater knives? Wrap them, fold a cardboard, tape it, and label it and throw it in the bin.
Okay. But that's not something like common knowledge. Do people just know to do that?
Alternative, bubble wrap provides a good layer of protection from the knife instead of newspaper. Always attach a note with a disclaimer that a knife is inside.
Well, off the back of last week in the confessional, some parents sent in some funny things that their kids had said out loud and got them in trouble and was really funny. And so when we put those out, we got a whole bunch more parents send it in. So we've just got this funny kids quote section. We've got 4 quotes that were sent in and you can go first.
My 6-year-old son took his toy octopus to class. While there, I asked what its name was and he said Pussy. I was like, oh, is he a cat? And he said no, because he's an octopussy. And then he shouted loud for everyone to hear, I love pussy. Octopussy.
I love kids. I love it because it's innocent, but it's hilarious.
I just think of James Bond.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Octopussy. Anyway, continue. That's a thing.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know James Bond. And so
Great movie.
we're moving along.
Great
we
movie.
ran into my child's swimming teacher at the shops. She took one look at her and said, why aren't you in the pool? Turns out she believes the swim instructors live in the pools.
I mean, they don't ever get out. So they're there when you go in, they're there when you leave.
That does take me back to being a kid and you like firmly believed that your teacher lived in their classroom. Like if you saw your teacher out of school, it was like, whoa.
You're a human?
All right.
Debatable on some of our teachers. I woke up to my toddler in my face staring at me. I thought I was about to get a hug, but she said, Daddy, I want to eat your face.
Look out. Someone needs breakfast. Get your kids some breakfast.
And maybe a psych eval.
Oh, kids are hilarious.
I want to eat your face.
My 3-year-old. How old is grandma? Me. She's 92. 3-year-old. Why isn't she dead yet?
Great question.
We've had some kids send in heaps like this. Kids are hilarious when it comes to like morbidity. And one of my favorites is still the mum that sent in that after their trip got cancelled for COVID, the kid was like, it's okay, mum, your next trip can just be to heaven.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I love kids.
Or the grandma that was like, I'm however old, and they're like, oh, so you're almost dead.
Kids are hilarious. Thank you. Always send us the funny things kids say. We do segments on that from time to time because I collect them as the stories get sent in. So if your kid has just said a banger this week,
Just send it.
just jump on the socials and send me, hey Beck, hey Sam, my kid's hilarious. Here's what they said.
Hey,
Enjoy.
Beck. It'll most likely be Beck.
Yeah, I'm usually the person behind the socials.
Unless you
so-
message me directly on the Unhelpful Dad, and then it's me. But
Yes. Yeah, if
not-
you ever
that's
want to
not Beck.
surprise me with something. Anyway, we have 2 great confessionals in the confession today, so let's head there.
my son's teacher pulled me aside for a chat and said my son had punched his friend at school that day. When I asked my son why he did it, he said, hey, Dad, you know that bolognese you made last night? It made me strong and gave me muscles and I wanted to punch.
Oh, so much for telling your kids to eat their dinner to make them big and strong. That backfired for that kid.
Wow.
Your dinner made me so strong I
can't
just had
do-
to punch.
You can't do anything with that. You go, all right, mate.
Well, no, you got to teach them what to do with those feelings when you want to punch someone.
Yeah.
It's part of growing up.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. All right. This one is great. On Monday morning, I realized I'd forgotten to unpack my son's Friday lunchbox. So I took it out of his bag, used and packed a different lunchbox with fresh food for the day and shipped him off to school. I get home after school drop, and what's this on the bench? It's his lunchbox for today. I've put the wrong one back in his bag and sent him to school with 3-day-old fermenting scraps. To make it worse, by the time I realised and got back to school with the fresh lunchbox, they'd already had morning fruit break. So he had already opened it and the teachers had already seen. It was nice knowing you. I'm going to go die in a hole of embarrassment now.
That's brutal.
You imagine seeing the kid open his lunch fruit snack and it's just, because if the school's anything like ours doesn't let the kids throw their lunch rubbish away. It doesn't matter how dirty it is, whatever. They like them to send their food scraps home so that we as parents can see how much they've eaten, what they've eaten, what they've not eaten.
Good.
Yes. When I first heard that they
don't throw away the food and you know.
When I first heard that they don't let the kids throw away their lunches, I was like, ew. But now I'm like, oh no, this actually helps me. I know what you're eating and what you're not eating. But so they sat there all weekend and so has the kid to open the lunchbox.
Makes sense. But yeah, that's quite funny.
Man, and they did the walk of shame back in with the new lunchbox. Oh, well, I would have just ordered tuck shop.
No.
Be like, I'm not going back.
No, you've got to, it's not really a walk of shame. Because you go,
Sorry.
I sent him with the wrong lunchbox.
Yeah. But that's still fessing up to, I haven't touched the old lunchbox since Friday.
That's true.
Sat there all weekend. Oh, I love it.
Probably a working mum and who, is what it is.
Oh, does not have to be a working mum. On the days I've not worked are usually the days where I've turned up to kindy without the backpack. I've literally gone to drop off my baby and be like, sorry, I don't have any nappies, food or wipes. I'm just going to go home and get them and come back.
Bullcrap. You ring me and go,
One of the times.
left the backpack, didn't I? I go, yes, you did. It's right next to the door. And I had to drive it in.
One of the times. I've done it at least twice. There's a lot of things to hold in our brains. You should know that. Anyway, we are doing Parents in the News this week because there was a news story. Usually we try not to have too many segments. I know we've had kid quotes, we've had confessions, but I couldn't not have Parents in the News when I saw this story because it was too funny. And you're going to read some of it for me because it's a long story and I don't want it to all be me.
Okay.
A fortune cookie company has mixed up the custom messages in its batches, meaning the humorous, profanity-laced messages meant for Lady Chew's restaurant in Sydney have landed in other family restaurants. Oh, yes. Chew is known for her offensive fortune cookies, and we can't read them all here, but the ones we can read are...
Wait, why can't we read them all here? You've put in some pretty brutal ones.
Yeah, I censored. These ones are the censored ones that I've put in.
It's nearly Christmas. What have you done? #loser. Start working on your future. This time, don't f it up. You're not the same person you were a year ago. You got worse. Was that even possible? You're capable of great things, but all you do is look at your phone all day. You won't be that great. Sorry.
So they were the better ones that I was like, yeah, we can read those if you get to listening. Now I want to
know what other ones she has.
The mix-up meant that these went to family restaurants where parents were eating with their children. So imagine being at a Chinese restaurant, getting your fortune cookie and going to have this wholesome moment with your kids, and it's like,
you effed it up.
You effed up your life.
Oops.
The news story included that now, because of the mix-up, the supplier is refusing to print any offensive ones, and the restaurant is now having to handwrite their funny ones, which I think is pretty crap because they're the ones that stuffed it up. They just mixed up the boxes. Just fix your process and make sure your custom funny ones are labelled and not sent to the wrong restaurant.
I just found the other one.
One of them. You can read it if you want. There's a few.
I'm censoring this one.
Okay.
I only married you for your money, you ugly.
Yeah, that was in there.
Brutal. The year of snake bears good fortune. Your divorce is coming soon. That's rough.
Yeah.
I think I just found the article you were talking about. Yeah, because the manufacturers said we're not making them anymore
they're
to
like,
risk it because they're not.
It's too risky. So
That's
I would just love
brutal.
to know what the complaint was. Like, who was it that opened it with their kids, and like, what was the fortune?
Well, there would have been a couple. There would have been a couple to clue on, and then they've gone, something's wrong.
And
here.
how many did they have to recall to make sure that they?
How many restaurants got them, and how many people actually opened them at all those restaurants?
Oh man, could you just?
I didn't realize she was in Sydney.
Yeah.
I've heard of the restaurant.
Yeah. So yeah, Sydney-based Australian. We love our humour.
That's rough.
I would love to hear if you're a parent. Like, I know it's a long shot, but if you're a parent listening to this that got one of those fortune cookies,
Yeah, send it in.
please message us. We would love to hear your
Send
story.
it. I want to hear your story.
That would be gold. And all your other stories, parents, just a reminder, we keep you anonymous and we love to laugh, and it really does encourage parents. I get messages all the time, people saying, thank you so much. You've brought some joy to my week in the chaos of parenting. I feel like some are like, I feel like a better parent. I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's a good thing, but
It's a good thing or a bad thing.
it's like, so long as my fails can make someone feel better,
Or
that's great.
Other people's fails too.
Yeah, and other people's fails. So send them on in, and we love to laugh. So come back next week, subscribe, like this video on YouTube. If you've watched this far, please help us and press that like button. It really does help. And share this video.
It does.
It really helps. And we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.